And welcome back, guys. We are back yet again at Shaw Harley Davidson for another test review on this, the Street Rod 750, and I'm actually really looking forward to getting this bike out today. So without further ado, let's run through the spec. So guys, let's hear what the exhaust sounds like. Now bear in mind, this is not meant to be your conventional Harley Davidson brap brap. It's meant to be something along the lines of a Street Fighter, so don't expect it, or don't have your expectations set for it to sound like it's got a set of 2-in-1 competition exhaust from V&H. So let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, here we go. Yeah, as mentioned, it's what I was expecting to a certain extent. It's not meant to have a lot of brap brap in it. It's just meant to have a nice smooth sound as you expect from a sports bike, etc. I think the one thing you need to bear in mind is that this is designed for the urban market, and in that case you don't really want something that's going to wake the neighbours up and hate you for the rest of your life. You want something that's going to have a smooth tone but yet noticeable. So in terms of what I would do with this bike, I know Vance and Hines have just released the slip-ons for this, and I think that would be enough to give it a more of a little bit meatier sound. So let's have a look at the controls on the handlebars. Typically with your Harley Davidsons it'll be very simplistic in terms of the switches, etc. So what we've got here is great set of drag handlebars, which as you guys know I'm a big fan of. Then on your right hand side, very simple emergency cut off, etc. You guys know that I'm a big fan of that. Had some funny experiences on my Sporty. You've got the engine stop start here, or start stop I should say. Then on the left hand side you've got those easy to use left and right turn signals with your horn. Let's hear it. Bop bop. And then you've got the low beam, high beam on top here. So again, very simplistic. Simply key in, turn on, off you go. Liking it. What I want to do is just walk and talk you through how this bike feels as I'm getting on it, because that's a big part of understanding what the ride's going to be like. So coming onto it, I can see straight away that the seat height is a lot taller than the other street model. So I think it's around 765mm. So I'm 5'9". Getting on that was okay. Putting my feet up onto the footrests. Again, you've got to bear in mind I'm very much a fan of forward controls. It just suits my frame, it suits my flexibility, and straight away I can feel that with these style of mid controls it's very tight. In terms of the gear shifter, already feeling that I feel that could be a little bit longer. Dials wise, very clear. The position of the drag bars is fantastic. Got to do some slight adjustments with the mirrors, so that's great. Okay, so with all my test review, guys, we're going to be looking at the power, manoeuvrability and comfort. So without further ado, let's get cracking and hope you guys enjoy this test review on the new Street Rod 750. Okay, so I've ridden the bike for about a couple of minutes, and already I'm just feeling so much positivity with the handling. It's just such a responsive bike. It's fantastic. It's peppy on acceleration. It feels good. I'm not getting any aches yet on the legs with the mid controls. The actual ergonomics in terms of the drag bars and how that feels and how that correlates with the mirrors is really good. I'm impressed. I think, do you know what I think? I think overall Harley have done a bit more homework on the Street, and to me I felt like that from my personal perspective the Street was made in a bit of a rush, and I just feel like they had more time to think about what they wanted from the Street Rod and how to improve it, and clearly they've made some good adjustments. But we're only at the start of the test review, so let's not get too excited yet. So coming up to one of the first tests, it is the roundabout. Let's see how she maneuvers, how she handles. Oh, it's just, I love it. I honestly love it. It's, oh, let's lean into it. Oh, it's just such a, that's great. The lean angle is so much greater because the bike is higher than the Street, coupled with the suspension factors. It's the, you know, it just handles great. That's all I can say. Okay, now we're moving into the countryside environment with some couple of national speed limits. Let's just see how this bike performs. I'm going to take her down or close to a rolling start, like so. Coming into the national speed limit. Second gear, let's open her up. That is nice. That is a nice bit of acceleration. Let's test the brakes. Coming into 30. Yeah. Just, it's great. With the braking power, it's double what the Street had. It's twin disc. And at the same time they've moved from rubber hose to a braided hose, so that's going to help it as well. You know, with 20% more power, 10% more torque, it's gonna feel a lot different, and this is by means no understatement. The brakes, the back brake sharps, I'm obviously using that going through the bends, leaving off from the front. Oh, it's great. As I'm travelling at a relatively high end of this bike, there's no bouncing at all. Very responsive. So far I am extremely impressed. Let's go down right turn. Let's lean into it. Then left. Fantastic. On the brakes. Oh, you can't beat this out on a Harley in the sunshine. But I'm forgetting it's a Harley. To me it feels more like a Street Fighter, more of a Jap bike, dare I say it, overtaking. And I think that's the difference you've got to realise, is that this is not meant to be like the Sportster range or anything like that. It's in its own little market. It will appeal to a different audience. What I do like as well, and what I shown at the start of the vlog, was very much where the exhaust is. You've got that rubber. So at this moment in time, I've got my front toes on the foot peg, and I've got my heel just resting on that rubber part of the exhaust. And that's something that Harley picked up on, because with the old Street, people were resting their foot on the exhaust and clearly burning the rubber. Let's test the suspension over the railway line. This is always an issue, as you see in my other vlogs. Nice. Whoa. And it's in situations just like that you need to have those double discs. Okay gang, going into my favourite part of the test review. It's the manoeuvrability part. It's the test of the tighties. Oh, I just feel really confident on this bike. It just feels so responsive, and the handling's so good that I really feel I can throw this about more so than the normal Street. And actually, a lot more than my Sportster. Nice little left turn, let's test her. It's just great. Oh, oh, now, open her up. Hard on the brakes. What a great bike. You know, I'm always relatively positive with the Harley range. It's always been a joy for me to ride these bikes, but I think with this they're really entering into a different audience, and I just get this feeling they're going to be very successful. So we're coming into a real tight turn now, into a little chicane. Whoop! Okay, it's a tight right then tight left, dropping it in, obviously being very aware of people about, then left, good, open her up. You know, this thing can wheelie, and I'm crap at wheelies, guys. If I'm brutally honest with you, that's the first wheelie I've tried on the Harleys for today. Oh wow, what a lot of fun. Let's try it again. You know, and this bike is coming in at £6,745. You can have this on PCP for about £125 with a down payment of £125 to get it going. I mean, that is amazing for this type of bike. And you know, for me, I'm not a big fan of PCP for personal reasons, but if I'm a young professional, or if I'm someone that needs a second bike for an urban environment, you know, for that money, this is flipping good, really good. And the colour schemes are great. You've got vivid black, charcoal grey, denim black, olive green, and I must admit, for me, if I was having this bike, it would definitely be the charcoal grey. I think that is a beautiful colour. So, what do I love about this bike? I think starting from the top, I love the look of it. I think this is a stunning Harley Davidson in terms of what they've tried to do. They've gone for that Street Fighter look, they've gone for a Jap look, they've gone for an urban, moody, aggressive looking bike, and they've definitely achieved it. The feedback I'm seeing is everyone's thinking roughly along the same lines of this bike. I love the engine. I think it's made a massive improvement. You know, 20% more power, 10% more torque. What a great overstep compared to the street. I love the way as well they've cleaned up all the electric. So you look at the street and it's got this black thick cover that you can clearly see, and with this it's all neatly tucked away, and you want something, you know, sexy looking. You don't want it to look great and then when you look at it on further inspection or closer inspection, it looks a bit butters with wires hanging out, etc. I love the key features. You know, I could go on about the front forks all day. The 43mm upside down dub twin disc, what a good move, Harley. You know, for me, that is a big feature of the bike, and they've definitely nailed it. The positioning is fantastic as well. The drag bars, the hand controls, simple. The mirrors, well done again on the street. You had these ugly mirrors that were kind of here and couldn't see jack behind you, and these are great, sort of, you know, cafe racer stuck on the end. They just look quality as well. The material is great. It doesn't look flimsy. I love how much fun you can have with this bike. That's another thing. You know, I've never really tried a proper wheelie on a Harley, but I thought, do you know what, today I'm gonna throw caution to the wind. I'm gonna have some fun. That's what it's about, and do you know what, it's great. It bloody does it. So team, we are coming to the end of the test review from my perspective, a Street Rod 750. Now bear in mind, I always say perspective, so what I feel may not be what you feel, and that's the beauty about it. Never take anyone's word as gospel. Always try it out for yourself. Always recommend that. I've done lots of test reviews and had a lot of great feedback from people saying, do you know what, I saw your review, I went on it, and I actually went and bought the bike. But make sure you try it out. Make sure you find out for yourself what it feels like. The key question I have for you guys is, what are your thoughts and feelings about this bike? Have you tried it yourself? What did you think? Put your comments in below, but remember, no fighting in my comment section. Take care, guys. All the best, Motor Noob Rider.